Hi, I'm Steve from PlanUp. Welcome to a PlanUp training video. In this video, we're going to show you how to create a floor plan from a sketch. You might be brand new to the software, feeling a little bit daunted about creating your first floor plan. Now, obviously, with any floor plan software, with any software in general, there's going to be a learning curve. So I'm here to help ease you into, getting up to speed with drawing your floor plans. What we'll do is we'll go through the main basics. This is going to be a step-by-step guide. It's going to be 3 parts to it. So make sure that after each part, you make sure that you save your plan, jump straight into part 2 and then part 3. And by the end of it, you'll have a beautiful finished floor plan. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. Instead of just showing you how to draw a plan, I'm also going to explain some of the various functions to help you gain more of an understanding of the software. So this first video is much longer than the second and third parts, and that's because it will teach you the essentials of using PlanUp. Now there's a lot of information here, so I've bookmarked all of the key moments in the descriptions below to enable you to easily come back and reference anything. Okay, so you can see here that we've got our plan on the left-hand side. So let's get to the new and open screen that you can see here. And to create your new plan, obviously we just tap on new. Now, when you first open the plan editor screen, when you move your mouse around, you're going to see this little green dot that's following you around. You can use this to create your rooms. Tap, hold and drag with your mouse to create a room. Now you can see that once we've created the room, we've got the total square area that's created from the room that you've drawn, and also shown within the room, you've got the measurements shown. Now these measurements that are shown within the room are purely for display purposes only. And this measurement up here is decided by the physical lengths of the walls that we set. Now that's quite important when you're using PlanUp. Just remember that the measurement that's shown within the room, you can alter that to really just show whatever you like. It's purely for display purposes only, and the total square area is calculated from the physical length of all of your walls. Now, if we want to change the length of those walls, if we're doing the lounge, for example, we can see that it's 3.1 by 4.6. So if we type on the blue measurement box that's on the wall, we can type in the measurement using the number pad on the right hand side here, 3.1, and hit enter. Then the room changes shape to the length that we've put that measurement in. Also, if we hover over that measurement, we can see that this wall is now locked. It means that no matter how long I make this wall, it'll still say 3.1. So let's move it close to where it was, 3.1. Let's type this next measurement in now, 4.6, and enter, and now we've got the shape of our room. However, we can see that there is a little notch just in here. Now, to add a split into a wall, we can tap and select split wall. We can then drag this up, and you see now we have more blue boxes that we can type measurements in. We can see that this is 2.2. So we can tap on that measurement there, select 2.2 and hit enter. And we can see here that this goes up 0.6 of a meter. So we can tap on that measurement and we can go 0.6 and enter. And now we've got the shape of our lounge. It really is as simple as that. And basically just rinse and repeat. Now let's name our room. Let's tap on unnamed and name it the lounge. Now you'll see here that the measurements that we were talking about a moment ago have gone grey. Now this is because the room shape is irregular. It's not a standard square room, so it's not sure exactly where you want to be displaying your measurements from. Now to show these measurements, we can just tap into the room, and this second menu down, or the second title down, says sizes. Let's just tick that box there. It says show on floor plan. And also what we can do is we can select to check and edit. Now you'll notice when you hover over the text in the room that these grey arrows appear. And this is where your measurements are being taken from that you want to display. So if we select check and edit, you'll be able to drag the arrowheads to where you want them. For example, if you wanted to show a minimum depth, you could drag it to this wall here, tap on the measurement box and select minimum. Once you're done, select OK, and then at the top you can select done. Now you can see that the room is showing a minimum for that length. It's showing 4 meters rather than 4.6. This just allows you, like I say, to show minimum You can show extending into, for example, if you had a bay. You could even say, excluding head height. There might be restricted head height, for example. Either way, you can use this to your advantage to make sure that your plan shows, as much information really as you need. And it's always really, really good to show as much information as possible on your plan. But we're going to leave it as this for the moment. Now, let's move on to our next room. Now, the next room we're going to draw is the dining room. Now, it's just below it here. We can see that it's 2.2 by 3.9. So let's use that same drawing method again, Quickdraw. Now, Quickdraw, top right hand corner, tap on Quickdraw, tap, hold and drag to size your room. And exactly the same again, tap on the blue measurement box, type in your measurement. This time it's 3.9, hit enter. We don't need to adjust this wall, it's already 2.2. So let's name the room. This is going to be the dining room. And there we go, easy as that. Now the next room we're going to create is the kitchen. Now for this room, we're going to use the wall by wall drawing method. Now this is best utilized when you're out on site using a mobile device like an iPad, for example, and you're walking around the room, taking measurements with your laser measure. And as you're walking around, you can add each wall individually. Also, if you've got rooms with slight angles on, for example, it's quite good to use the wall by wall technique. But either way, we'll quickly show you how to use that on your desktop. So again, the top right hand corner, the blue button, it says wall by wall. Let's select that, and we need to tap on an adjoining wall. Now the adjoining wall between the dining room and the kitchen is just here. Let's tap on that wall, and I'm going to choose a start point, which is at the bottom, and now 2.6. Now, using wall by wall, this is a good example to show you how to use wall locking measurements, just like we showed you at the start, where we typed in that measurement and we could extend that room, but it still said exactly the same number that we typed. Now, this is purely because no property that you ever measure is going to be completely square. If you do ever find one, please let me know. I'd be quite interested to see exactly who built that property, because we all know no property is ever going to be 100% square. This ultimately means that the measurements that you take in the property may not actually match up. There may be slight gaps here or there. So if we just extend this wall here, tapping on this little white arrow, we can see that that number grows the more that we stretch it, and shrinks again if we pull it back. Now, obviously, walls are integral to getting your square area correct. So what we can do is type in the measurement 2.6 and hit enter. And now when we move the wall, you'll see that no matter how long or short we make this wall, it says 2.6, which is exactly what we want. This means that your plan will be completely accurate, but it also means that you can make it look exactly how you want. A little bit of artistic license. So let's use that. Let's draw our next wall. Use the plus, tap on the plus, and let's type in our next measurement. It's 4.5. So 4.5, let's hit enter. Now we want to check that it's in line here. We can do that by using the little white arrow. We can shift up and down. You see there's a little green line that appears when it snaps into place. Perfect. And at the bottom right hand corner, you see there's the autocomplete just down here. The autocomplete, when using wall by wall, is always trying to second guess what you're trying to do, basically to help speed things up. If we tap that, the room completes for you. Nice and simple, nice and easy. That's how you use the wall by wall. You simply type in your measurement, start your next wall, type in your measurement, start your next wall, and so on. Rinse and repeat. Now this is going to be something that you do quite often. We'll do it again just to instill the practice into you, but using Quickdraw and wall by wall, you can create any shape room that you want. Now, let's name this room. This is going to be the kitchen. And let's create now our what looks like a bathroom, a little bathroom that goes below the stairs. Now we can see it's 1.7 wide by 1.9. Let's use wall by wall again. I'm going to tap on an adjoining wall, choose a start point. I'm going to type 1.9 for my first measurement, and I'm going to go across, and that is 1.9. 1.7 and enter. Now this is where the wall locking measurements really come into play. This is where you've measured your room. Maybe there's a slightly thicker wall. This is what's causing it. Maybe it was just built wonky. I mean, who knows? But what we can see here is that we've got a 1.7 wall and it doesn't quite reach the lounge wall. Now, because we've typed the measurement in, if we look here, we can use the white arrow, we can tap and drag it into place, but it still says 1.7. This is perfect. This means that our room is going to be nice and square and aesthetically pleasing, but our square area is going to be correct. It's ultimately a very simple premise. If you type a measurement into a wall, you can make it as long or as short as you need it, and then you can complete your room. This means that your square area will always be exactly according to the measurements that you've taken, but you can make the property look nice and neat and square. You're not going to notice a slight wonk in a wall when you're in the room. The room may appear perfectly square, but the chances are that it's not going to be. So using this technique, it means that your plan is going to be up to spec and it's going to look beautiful. So let's use the autocomplete to finish the room. Bottom right hand corner, let's tap autocomplete. Job done. Same again, let's name the room. This is going to be a bathroom. And now let's create our final room downstairs. We're going to use Quickdraw. We're going to tap on Quickdraw, and I'm just going to fill by using tap, hold and drag that little area. Now we can enter our measurements by tapping on the blue boxes, just as we did when we created the lounge. This measurement is going to be 2.5. and this measurement is going to be 1.7. Now we can see here that the room has changed shape once we've typed in the measurements, but that's okay. We can just tap, hold and drag that wall back into position. This is similar to doing wall by wall. You're making the wall longer or shorter, but because we typed in the measurement's going to stay exactly where it is. So whichever way suits you best. Now we can also see that this measurement has turned red. Now this doesn't mean that the measurement is incorrect or you've done something wrong. It just means that the wall is no longer to scale to the rest of the plan. Now, like I say, this could be in the actual property that we've measured that there's a slightly thicker wall somewhere. The long and short of it is, just because you see a red measurement, it doesn't mean that it's incorrect. It's just letting you know that if something seems amiss somewhere and you're trying to work out your square areas, you can look at your plan and straight away you can see that a wall has been stretched out of scale to the rest of the plan. But it doesn't mean it's incorrect. Please remember, it doesn't mean that it's incorrect. It's just highlighting that it's not into scale with the rest of the plan. But we know that it's correct. It's the measurement that it shows on the plan. We've typed it in correctly, so we're going to be happy with this. That's not a problem. Now let's move on. Let's finish this floor. Let's name this. This is going to be the hallway or the hall. And now we've got all of our measurements showing. We've got all of our rooms created. Let's start adding all of the symbols. Now all of your symbols are in the top toolbar along here. You've got your doors, you've got your windows, stairs, cupboards, radiators, fireplaces. Bathrooms, we've got toilets, we've got basins, we've got baths, we've got showers, and then kitchens, we've got worktops, we've got kitchen sinks, and we've got hobs. So let's add in some windows. We can see that we've got a window in the hall, in the lounge, in the kitchen, on the sides here, and in the dining room. So let's add a window. We can just tap it once, and then we can tap it into place, and using these red handles that we see here, we can adjust the window. Alternatively, you can just tap on the window and then tap, hold and drag to size. I prefer to use this method. It's a little bit quicker. It means that you can get the window to shape in one attempt. Let's do that again. Window, tap, hold and drag just here, and a window, and I'm going to tap, hold and drag just here. Perfect. Going to add the windows along the bottom now. Tap, hold and drag. And the last window, if you just want to add it, you can then adjust it again using the red handles if you so wish, whichever suits you. So let's add some doorways in now. We can see that there's a doorway up in the hallway that goes outwards. We can see that there is a standard doorway again that goes into the lounge. Now we click this in, but we can see that it faces the opposite way. We can use the hinge left or right to make sure that our door hinges in the right direction. Let's add another door into the bathroom. Let's hinge that the correct way. We can also see that there is a door just here. Let's swap the hinge around on that. There is a door that goes into the dining room, and there's a last door that goes out of the kitchen. Now let's add some symbols. We'll start with the kitchen. There's the most symbols in there. Let's add the worktops, the hob, and the kitchen sink. So kitchen symbols are in this little section up here. Let's choose a worktop. They like to automatically fill the full length of the wall that you're adding them to. So that's fine for this bottom section here. But just as we did with the windows, we can tap, hold, and drag, and we can see that they also merge together. This just means that you can speed things up by adding them to size and shape the first time. Tap, hold, and drag on a lot of symbols works brilliantly. Let's do that exact same thing again. Above this doorway, tap, hold, and drag to that point, and then to here. Tap, hold, and drag, and you can see that they've merged beautifully together. Now let's add the kitchen sink, which is just over here. I'm just going to add a standard sink. That's just here. Just as you could with the doors, you can swap the ends of the sink if you wish. And then we're also going to add the hob. We're just going to add a standard hob over here, and we should always dress the room. When I say dress the room, it means bring the text into the middle. You always want to make sure that your text is nicely legible, sizing it larger or smaller, and also make sure that it's not overlapping, or at least not overlapping too many symbols, so it's nice and clear. And try and add it to the center of the room, or as close to center as possible. So with the lounge, we can make this text slightly larger, for example, because there aren't any other symbols in here. The dining room, let's make that text slightly smaller, just so it looks a little bit more scaled. The bathroom, let's add a bath. Baths are just here, standard bath, it goes across the bottom. Let's size it because it fits all the way across that room, as we can see. We've now got a basin. I'm going to put in a standard basin just here, and we've got the toilet. The toilet sits in just here. Excellent. So let's zoom in and now see if we can adjust the text to make it look like it's nice and appealing. So I'm going to make it slightly smaller, a couple of clicks there, and then drag it so it's not overlapping any of the other symbols in the room, and it's as centered as possible. Perfect. Okay. Now that we've finished the ground floor, we're going to move on to part 2. But before we go to part 2, let's make sure that we save our plan so we can come back to it later on. The bottom right hand corner, we can hit finish just here, and then you can type in your own address. Make sure that you add a postcode and then select OK. This will then save your plan, and you will see that you'll get onto the edit the plan or get images screen just like this. So please come back and join me in part 2, where we'll draw the second floor of this plan. We'll add the stairs and we'll finish the plan. And then in part 3, we'll show you how you can customize your plan and how you can save the plan out. So that's all from me for now. That's enough information for one sitting. When you're ready, please go into part 2 and I'll see you there.